Are you a big Villainous fan?
Yeah, really big.
And I've always wanted to do tournaments with Villainous.
When we started talking about Gen Con, it was basically a no-brainer. We have to do some sort of Villainous event.
It's been so much fun. I love this game.
I'm also excited for the newer version since they dropped the 100th anniversary.
Today was a little rough. They definitely changed my strategy up a little bit, and it hurt.
Thank you all for coming and signing up and playing Villainous at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Villains are 1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, what is up? My name's Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And we just covered the first North American Disney Villainous Tournament, which was at Gen Con, the largest board game convention in the United States.
Yeah, I am so happy that there was finally an official Villainous Tournament. Like, this was like a dream come true to be able to go and cover this whole tournament. And thank you so much to Ravensburger for sponsoring this video and for sponsoring us to be able to go and even cover this. Like, it was so awesome to be able to interview people, to see the competition, and to see who wins that golden cauldron. Now, if you want to be a part of all of that, then just keep watching.
Double the powder and shorten the fuse.
So we started out with the first round of the competition, which was 32 people. So first it was a set of 16 that played, and how it worked was it was a 2-player game, and there was a mystery envelope in between each of the people that were playing, and then you were actually competing as well.
I was.
Yeah. So can you tell us about that experience and what it was like to open that envelope?
Yes, so we opened the envelope, me and my competitor across from me, and we got to unveil the 2 villains that we were playing, which was Maleficent and Captain Hook. Now, at that point in time, we had to do a rock, paper, scissors and decide who was going to get to pick who they were going to be as the first villain. Now, whoever got the second pick villain got to mulligan their first hand, so that meant I got to redraw my first hand because I lost the rock, paper, scissors. So that was a little bit nice to be able to, get a better hand to start the game. Now, we are playing with the new Introduction to Evil rules and the new Introduction to Evil villains, which meant that we started with 2 power each, and our objectives were a little bit different than the Captain Hook and Maleficent that we had seen before.
So this was your first time playing with Introduction to Evil.
It was.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Introduction to Evil is a brand new, reimagined reintroduction of the villains from The Worst Takes It All. And so it's going to be Ursula, Captain Hook, Maleficent, and Prince John.
That's right.
Yeah, so you got to play Hook, and you were playing against Maleficent. So can you take us through that experience?
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's been just a few slight adjustments, so I won't go re-explain the entirety of these characters, but Captain Hook generally has to capture Peter Pan and bring him back to the Jolly Roger. Now, in this particular case, that lock token is gone, so there's no lock to get to Neverland. However, you do have to find the map token and discard that before you can start moving Peter Pan. So there's a little bit of a change there that makes it a little bit easier to understand how your cards work and get to that phase a little bit faster. Now, on the Maleficent side, she has to get 4 curses in her land, but now, as soon as she does that, she can win the game rather than having to wait till she gets back to her turn. So a little bit tighter win conditions, and we began our game.
Yeah, and how did it go?
I lost.
Oh, I sure hoped I would not get out in the first round, especially with us covering it. I'd like to say that I put up a good fight. We were one of the last 2 games going on out of 16. It was over an hour, but my competitor was extremely, extremely good, and both of us had moments where, we could have lost that game in 1 turn, so it was a close one.
It was like the most fates I had ever seen on some cards. Mike Mulvihill, the designer, was also pretty impressed with the amount of fates that you guys were putting on each other.
Now, going into the next round, we got a couple interviews, so let's check out the competitors.
It was really fun. I played as Captain Hook against Maleficent, and it's the newer version. And I definitely played an aggressive game. Like, I wanted to fate so I could make sure that my opponent wasn't fating me. So I kind of tried to block off his fate action areas so that I could just get through and focus on myself afterwards.
He was actually very challenging. I thought he had me beat for most of the game because just the way he was playing was way ahead of where I was at with my win condition because also Maleficent changed quite a bit. So having to have allies out to play your curses, I burned through all my allies, getting rid of the heroes he was playing on me, and I thought I had lost the game. But I was able to kind of fate bury him, bought me some time to get my cards back up where I needed them.
So after a full day of Gen Con, it was the next morning for Top 16, and this time they played the other set of Introduction to Evil, so it was Ursula versus Prince John.
Yeah, and Prince John got a tune-up, so not only do you have to get those power, but you also now have to capture Robin Hood. And on the Ursula side, we've also removed the lock token. The contracts have changed to give vanquish actions to locations. Works a little bit more like a normal character you'd expect to. It's a lot easier to pick up Ursula, who's definitely probably the most confusing from the original Worst Takes It All. After our top 16, we moved on to the top 8, where we got Hades versus Gaston. So they pulled out these characters. You got the chariot racing, you got the obstacles in my way, and they worked their way through the next round of the tournament. And things were getting pretty tight. So at this point, we were getting a lot closer to the finish line.
Yes, and we got to talk to lots of people about their experience, and it was really neat to be able to get the insight about all of like the fans of Villainous and why they chose to come compete in this competition, and just to hear about this like fandom that we all love.
It's been so much fun. I love this game. It's my husband and I's favorite game. We play 1v1 all the time, so doing it tournament style was like, oh, there's other people that play this 1v1, so it was a lot of fun.
Amazing.
A lot of fun.
So during the competition, I got to sit down with Mike Mulvihill, who is the current designer of Villainous, and I got to chat with him about all things Villainous, and it was so awesome. You got to check it out.
I can't be happier. This is the coolest thing we've done in a really
So
long time.
cool.
I'm so bubbly. If you would have asked teenage Mike Mulvihill, hey, you know, well into your life, you would spend most of your days at work watching Disney movies over and over and over again. That kid would have said, you're a liar, that's not even a job. You know, we noticed in this like in Madame Mim, for instance, to use her as a really good example, we look at it and go, okay, well, she's only in a really short period of time, but it's a very key sequence. So we're going to try to do something different where we have her fight her transformations against Merlin's transformation. And we just kind of start to kind of build it from a story. They've made the story. Disney's creative team has created these iconic villains with iconic stories. And so we have to look at it. And then, you know, part of it is I'm writing these down in bullet points. I have to look at 20x other characters and make sure we haven't done it this way before. It's as collaborative as it can be with a publisher, and it is a perfect relationship because they trust us, we've earned their trust, and we love their input because they understand what we're trying to do. Now, we know organized play exists with a lot of other companies, but for Ravensburger, it's a new endeavor. We hope to be, by next year, swimming and having villainous tournaments in stores or villainous play dates in stores where people can come and learn the game, play the game, see the broad swath of villains that we have, and just have fun because we know the people who are already involved have so much fun.
Another one of our favorite things about Villainous is the art direction. So we were lucky enough to also meet Jake, who's the art director, and we'd love to share what we talked to him about.
So I actually got involved at my first contract position on the green box actually. So I've been around since kind of the beginning, ever since basically the Marvel base set came out. I've been kind of the head of pretty much all the visual parts of Villainous. Typically it's one artist per villain. We like to find artists who kind of embody the spirit of the villain. So people who are great at drawing, you know, animal characters, we'll give them more of an animal villain. So I normally try to cater the artist to the property to kind of make it feel like a cohesive mix-up, and it gives them their each unique flavor. Me and Mike, luckily we have a very close connection with how we work at Ravensburger, so a lot of back and forth. He'll send me his suggestions and be like, hey, this is a really cool movie moment, can we get that in there? Or I'll do that to him and he'll be like, oh, maybe I can come up with a card mechanic for it. So it's a lot of conversations that we have, and you know, I always want the card art to feel like not only that part in the movie or that character, but how that character acts within the card. So, you know, if it's somebody being tricky, I kind of want them to look a little more devious. So, yeah, it's a great collaboration between me and Mike.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you dive deep into, like, how many times are you watching a movie, and are you looking at specific things, or how are you doing it?
So many times. I watch a movie, you know, I can't even count. and then it's a lot of going frame by frame through the movie to find just the perfect match, and then sometimes combining some different frames from the movie, and our artists are all amazing and are able to bring it all together and produce great art for the game. So
now, I'm very excited about the top 4 because I feel like this was the most competitive and the most exciting, thrilling matchup that we had the whole weekend. It was Pete versus the Horned King.
Yeah,
so
that was neat.
you have 2 villains who have pretty clear objectives where they have to get 4 things, 1 thing for each location. You know, you have to rise all of your Cauldron Born, you have to do your 4 hidden objectives, and we had 1 Pete winner and 1 Horned King winner. So it was like so close. Actually, a lot of these were 50-50, but this one just felt really tight to me.
Yeah, they were going around and like checking like who was winning what, just to see, check balance, and just like for the designers' own prosperity, just to like see that. But I really enjoyed Pete versus Horned King. I thought that was a great matchup and it was super fun to see. So then it moved into the final 2.
Yes, the final 2 was Cruella versus Yzma. Now this one had me so scared. I don't know how this is gonna work because both characters have quite a lot of randomness in some of the pull that they do. So it was really kind of cool to see that it worked out and that characters did not pull cards that would have drastically swung the game either way. It ended up being very tight matches, and we came to our final winner of this game.
Yeah.
So Mr. Maine, our winner, he was there with his wife and their baby in the back of their backpack, which we were partial to because we were also there with our baby.
Yeah.
It was very exciting to see him win. He was so gracious and just had a wonderful time. He won his Golden Cauldron. Let's check out his interview.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I ended up getting a chance to play Yzma in the finals against Cruella, and one of my favorite characters, so I ended up getting to take home the trophy. I didn't know what to expect when I came to the tournament. I wasn't actually originally one of the people selected to be in the tournament from the raffle, and I got to fill in for someone else as it chained down the people who weren't able to come, and so I just kind of felt lucky to be in the tournament. That's what I felt.
Now, everyone who participated in this game got some swag, so we got some shirts, got some hats, some pins.
Oh man,
it was
so
sweet.
Cool. So in addition to getting the Golden Cauldron, the winner also got an advanced copy of Oogie Boogie and
Filled with fright.
So overall, that is our experience covering the first official Villainous Tournament. I absolutely loved doing this. It was a dream come true. Yeah. One of my favorite parts is getting to see the actual faces that like go into making Villainous. There is so much passion and so much love that is going into this behind the scenes. And
it's really
I think,
special.
Yeah, I think that made me like love the game even more, to like put real like human faces into this. It's like, it's super awesome that like people out there working on this are just much as like Disney fans as like we all are. So that was awesome. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you so much to Ravensburgers for sponsoring this. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with us, and we hope you enjoyed the coverage of the first official North American Villainous Tournament, and we'll see you later.
Happy playing!
We are big fans of getting to hear from you. There's a giant dragon. Hello. Yeah.
Woo. Let's hear from Jonathan after he lost.
Okay, and then...